Hey crafty people! Welcome back to my channel, and in case you're new here, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. I do paper crafting, card making, junk journaling, and mixed media art. Let's get crafting! Welcome back. In case you're new to my channel or haven't been watching during the month of March, I have been participating in Ceri the Crafter's hashtag Mixed Media March 25. And what you are supposed to do is create a project for every day in the month of March. But if you missed starting on March 1, you can just start creating on whatever day you're on and just do 31 days in a row. And the project is supposed to be rectangular in shape, incorporate gel printing, incorporate the number corresponding to the day of the project, and your signature. I knew I was forgetting something there. And what I have out on my desk is this was a project I did last year. I think it was a mass make project. And what I did to create this base is I took, these are 8x5 index cards, and I took one of the 8x5 index cards and I coffee dyed both of them, and yeah, I did gussets on that. So what I did was on the bottom piece, I scored at about an inch, although my scoring's a little off. And then for the top one, to give the pocket a little gusset, I scored a half inch on either side. Yeah, a half inch on either side, folded it over, and glued the top piece to the bottom piece, and then it'll attach to a page like so. And honestly, if I had any more coffee dyed index cards, I would have just demoed it again, but I don't. So, and I need to get this finished today in order to have it up on time for, I think this will be March 29th video. So I will leave a link in the description box down below where I actually show you how to create this. And I realized after I made them that they are way too wide to go on a page this way in a journal. So we are going to decorate it so that it can be a flip up on a page. And what I want to do first is I want to cover it with book page, because I thought I had this covered in book page, but apparently the ones I have left to be decorated don't have book page on them. So let me grab some book page. All right, so I've got some vintage and antique book page, and we're just gonna collage the front of this to add more interest. I'm gonna use art glitter glue because that will grip fast and I don't have to worry about it warping things too much. You of course can use whatever glue you like. Tearing off the white along the edges of my book page, and I'll save that and stamp on it to create stamped bits at a later date. And I don't mind if my book page is not all going the right way, but let's not do the smudgy writing. Let's do it this way. Do a little bit of the numbers. This is, I am not entirely sure. I picked it up on Etsy. Lathe and shingles. So their prices, it looks like. Cover up that spot there. So we're just gonna add Much Ado About Nothing. Trying to get rid of the excess over here and mess that up. All right, we'll glue it down in parts. That was fun. Okay, so we've got that down. What I want to do now is move some stuff out of my way so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so now that we've got that covered, here's my gel printed pieces. And so this is a Tim Holtz Sizzix die. It's Detailed Butterflies Mini 661802. And so you cut it out as 2 pieces, and I'm gonna layer them up. So that's gonna be on here. But what I want to do is some background stamping, and I want to use the Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous Wildflowers CMS253, but I don't want them to be really noticeable. Like, I want to stamp them and have them kind of fade into the background, so I want to stamp them in a really light color, and I'm just trying to decide what's going to be my best option for that. I think I'm gonna grab my Misty so that I can ink the flowers and the stems separate. I'm also debating kind of going over this with some tea dye just to mute the text a little bit more, because I want this all to be background kind of thing. So let me do that first. Not gonna have much effect on that because it's darker, but the Shakespeare is a little lighter in color than I want. Hopefully it will cooperate better than it has been lately. But that's feeling like the answer to that is no. All right, I am going to we're gonna just add a couple of magnets as well, just to keep that in place. I think we're gonna start with this guy. I think I'm gonna try stamping the flower using Spun Sugar and see how that goes. And that's Distress ink. That is very faint. I'm debating. Let's go ahead and put the stem in, and I'm using Shabby Shutters Distress ink. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go a little darker on the flower because the Shabby Shutters is darker. I'm gonna go Worn Lipstick. Ooh, but that looks like it's gonna be darker than I want. Let's have a scratch piece of paper and see. Yeah, that's a little darker than I want. So what we're gonna do is ink up again. I'm just gonna use my fingers to get it off the stock. Tap lightly and then stamp it down. Ooh, yes, that works. Okay. That one. Let's grab another. Let's do this guy. And I know I'm getting the flower there, but what I'm just gonna do is come in with the rag and wipe it off there. We're gonna stamp. And then for this one, I'm gonna try Shaded Lilac. Let's just try stamping it again with the Shaded Lilac. We're gonna go ahead and do these. Again, I'm just gonna wipe off on the flowers that I got ink on and stamp. We're gonna try dried marigold, but it might not be dark enough, but we'll see. Let's do that. And I'm gonna come in and wipe off the stem area on this one a little bit. Again, this doesn't have to be too perfect because it is meant to be background. Ooh, I like that. That worked out good. Okay. We're gonna do one more. We're gonna do this guy. Coming in kind of at an angle. And now blue. Let's try Salvaged Patina and see how it goes. I have a feeling it's going to be too light, but maybe it'll work. You know what, that actually works. Now I need to figure out something I can use for creating grass on the bottom there. All right, I'm going to see if I can use this Yupo stencil that I was using for something else to stamp with. We're gonna give it a try. May not work, in which case I will hunt something down that I can use to stamp grass with. I think it works, sort of. We're gonna play around with it here in a sec. What I think I'm just gonna do is grab a small blending brush, come in and add some green ink. I think I need to do a little bit more with the die cut stamp, and this is a lawn fawn die that I cut the grass out of Yupo for what will hopefully be tomorrow's project, assuming it works, because it's the second time I'm trying to do it, and I'm in the process of filming that one as well. Like we had to take a pause to let something dry, so don't know if it's come out yet. If it does, you'll see me using this in tomorrow's video as a mask. If not, I'll be making something completely different because I really don't want to have to do that project all over again for a third time. All right. And then we'll stick our butterfly on there. I like that. I also think I'm going to go around the edges of the whole thing, and I'm just trying to decide if I want to do Shabby Shutters or do Salvaged Patina so it looks kind of blue along the edges like the sky. Let's do that. Let's grab this Salvaged Patina. And we're going to ink the edges of this thing. And I'm going to be kind of heavy-handed in the inking to get more blue on there, just to give the feel of the sky. Yeah, I like that. Let's glue on our butterfly. I feel like I want to go around the edges of this in black because I think that'll make it pop more. So I'm going to grab some black soot distress ink. Try going around the edges and seeing if I can get them to stand out a little bit more. Like that. I'm gonna glue the butterfly down there. And I'm gonna actually just use a pen to give it some antennae. And then for the bottom, I think I want to grab a label. Okay, so I had a bit of a think and I started pulling some stuff out, and I'm going to show you what I did for that because I want one more piece. And I took some of the book page we ripped off. I'm adding a little Shabby Shutters to it because I like the colored effect on it. And then I'm going to stamp stamp from Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous. It's Curator and it's CMS253, and I'm going to do one of the round ones. And I'm going to stamp using archival ink in black soot. Just going to do that and cut that out. Actually, I'm going to keep that out because we still have to stamp our number on here. I also die cut out a butterfly, which let's ink the edges of that in black so it matches our other butterfly. And this is from the Tim Holtz Sizzix Vault Boutique set, and I don't remember the number. I'll leave it in the description down below. So I just figured we'd add that, and I'm trying to decide that side. No, I think it's going to go this way. And then we'll have this there, and this there, and this is some dyed cheesecloth that'll go underneath, but we need to stamp our date on there. And I'm gonna take my antique linen and knock this back because this is very white and nothing we've got going on is white. So let's hit that with some antique linen. Then we need stamps. Okay, so I've dug out Moth Studies CMS253, and we're going to stamp the number 2, and then since today's the 9th and it doesn't go up to 9, we're going to stamp the 6 upside down. So let me grab a block. I'm going to do Shabby Shutters. I think that's going to be too light. I'm afraid the black soot's going to be too dark, but I think for this instance, too dark might be better. All right, we're going to actually put our paper on our stamp because we have a small space. All right, that worked. And we're going to grab our number 9. All right, so this way is right side up. That side's wrong side up. Let's ink it, and we're going to wipe off the ink from the number part. So we just have ink on our upside down 6, which is going to go about there. Fingers crossed. Hey, 29. It worked. Yay. One of those things I'm like, I know in my head it should work, but if it's actually going to come out in practice, that's a wait to be seen kind of thing. All right, I'm going to ink the edges of this with some Shabby Shutters to just darken it a little bit on the edges. And this is cut with the Tim Holtz Sizzix Vintage Label die. All right, so let's bring our piece over. I am gonna trim off this piece of dyed cheesecloth. We're gonna glue it down like so, and then I will probably do a little bit of trimming of the excess. Let's use our Fabri-Tac because that's gonna work better. And I'm gonna glue it on the back of this label. And actually it should have enough gluiness, but let's just add a little extra. I'm going to do a little crunching on this guy and add some ink just to add a little bit more interest. That's going to go kind of tucked in here, so let's just, might as well use the Fabri-Tac. I got it out. So I think let's shift that over a hair. Put that on like so. I'm going to do the same crumpliness to this guy. Add some ink. Woo. Ooh, that got ripped, but that's okay. We're just gonna add some glue and glue it down. That was a lot more glue than I was planning for. I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna grab that so that if we have glue seepage, it'll go on my cloth instead of all over the, or paper towel instead of all over the project. There we go. And then we just have our little butterfly to add. I need to grab a pen and add my initials. And there we go. Project number 29. I can't believe the month is almost over. Only 2 more projects to go for hashtag Mixed Media March. And so that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting.